Hello, a couple of my friends wanted me to make this video here, so I'm making it here. This is how to cut up a boneless pork loin into pork chops and roasts, or just pork chops. Super easy. This is probably one of the easiest ways to do it. There's absolutely no reason to buy pork chops. This is so much cheaper and you get what you want. This got at Costco, 10.03 pounds, so 10 pounds. $21.97. It was $2.19 a pound, which is great price for pork chops and roast. Go check that out. So you can save a lot of money by this, and you get pork chops you want, the thickness you want. If you want them thinner, have them thinner, thicker. One bit of advice: the colder this is, the better to cut. That's the key. I used to put it in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes to get it really cold. I don't do that anymore. The only thing you really need is a good knife. Now, this is called a breaking knife, 10-inch breaking knife. They'll be linked down below. Victoria. These very common. Amazon, a lot of stores carry them. And this is a boning knife, a 6-inch boning knife. The breaking knife works a little better because it's a little bigger. You can get away with this. The bigger it is, because when you cut across, the more you saw, the more you might see it. With the bigger knife, you can cut and lift up in one cut and usually get it so it looks real smooth. But these are about 40, 45 bucks. These are about 20, 30. And this I use as my steak knives too. We have 4 of these. These we use as steak knives too. This will last you your lifetime. If you're a butcher, obviously not. And I use this a lot. And this, you take care of it, it'll last you a lifetime. These should last you a lifetime, but since we use these are steak knives, everything. These should last a lifetime, but well, miles may vary. But again, I got this at Costco. You can get this at Sam's. You get it at some grocery stores, U.S. Foods, Chef store. You can also get this all over the place. They're all over. Just check the prices around and everything like that. Good place I'll find it for great prices for stuff like this you want to get. Gordon's food store. Really good. Got a great price on a manager special on hamburger there a few weeks ago. I was excited about that, so check them out too. But it's real easy. There's a little liquid in here, so I got this plastic bag underneath. I'm going to be cutting on this wax paper, and I got this here just to set my finished stuff on. So we're just going to start here. You're going to see some juice come out. Come on. There we go. See right there? You're going to see some. You can do this over the sink if you want. I usually do it over the sink, but I'm doing it here now so you guys see it. And I'm going to do this as a whole, okay? I'm not going to do this like cut it in pieces and you miss some stuff. This is going to be start to finish. Everything I do, start to finish. That's why I'm not doing this over the sink. I literally want you to do this, see everything I do here so you can see how easy this is and how quick it is. Now, if you do not have a vacuum sealer, I recommend one because this will last forever. Not forever, but the freezer for a super long time. I got a new vacuum sealer and I'm really happy with it. It was one of the inexpensive ones on Amazon. I mean, I'll put a link of that too. I was very surprised at what it's thicker plastic than I'm used to. I was really surprised how good it was for that price. It's better than a lot of the expensive ones. I'll put a link for that too. You can see here, part a little here, but that's normal. Don't worry about that. Pick this up. I'm just gonna leave it here for a second. I'm gonna grab some paper towels to try not to make too much of a mess here. See? Gonna pull this up on itself, and I'm just gonna throw this in the trash. You might see my dog here. She gets excited when I do this. Lola. But I'm just getting over being sick. So if you see me coughing a little bit, I apologize. Feeling a lot better. I wasn't feeling good at all. Okay, here it is here. You can see there's 2 basic sides. There's a fatty side, and then you turn it over, more lean side. I'm gonna cut on the lean side. Now, the fat on the other side here, you can trim off if you want. Much, much easier. I'm going to do it like you would in the beginning to cut it individually. It's just easier that way. So now the one thing here is your first cut. You got to make it even, so you have a nice even pork chop on both sides. And you can see the end here. It's not even. It's rounded. It's good. So usually I'll do 2 roasts and the rest pork chops. So a roast on this end, so you get a nice clean cut. Roast on this end, nice clean cut. And we decide that down at the end where you want to. So like I was saying, this side is the fattier side. Does not really matter what side you cut on. Does it? You pick, you choose. What I do though is there's generally a bigger side and a smaller side. It doesn't matter. For some reason, I tend to start on my left, which is the smaller side. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a roast off. And I'm just gonna go, I don't know, 5-6 inches down. Now when you cut, what you're gonna wanna do is, I wanna position this a little bit easier for me. You're gonna cut down, and then as you come back, you're gonna lift up, okay? So I'm just gonna pick a nice, I'm gonna go down, and then when I come back, I'm gonna lift up. And sometimes you don't get it all, just clean it up, and there you got a nice little roast. That'll be dinner for me and my wife one night. Now, pork chops. Here's where you decide, like I was saying, if you want to clean this off right here, you know, just come by and just clean some of this off. Go for it. That's up to you. I do it at the end. But here's where you decide your steaks. Do you want centimeter steak, little ones? I'll cut some little ones. The thinner it is, the colder this has to be. If I'm going to cut a whole bunch of little tiny ones, I'll put this in for 10-20 minutes in the freezer. Get it super cold so it's a little harder. Not frozen, just really hard. But I generally, these kind of pork chops, I usually get about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, somewhere in there, because I like some decent pork chops, especially if you're going to sous vide or put them on the smoker or the grill or something. So again, you just get the size you want and just do the same thing. Cut, lift up, there it is there. And you just kind of do that all the way down. You can see I'm cutting through this. This is just to help so there's not so much liquid getting on my cutting board. And when we're done, I'm going to show you what I do with this knife. That's how we clean it up at the end. You can see there's nothing rocket science about this. You can see how easy this actually is. Now it's big enough I can get it all on the board. You can see this isn't difficult. Easy, easy, easy. And like I says, I usually don't, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 thinner steaks for you guys to show you. The reason I'm going to have 2 is because you want to cook about the same thickness. So I'll just pan fry these one night for me and my wife. And you can see these are thinner too. And there's a big chunk of fat cut off. But like I say, most of them I'll cut the, like I say, the 1.5 inches, 2 inches, which is just about right for us. But if you're gonna have a big party over, $20, great way to get everybody a good pork chop. But if it's for you and your family, you're gonna have to preserve them somehow. So you can also like put them in Ziploc baggies and get all the air out. And they'll last a little while, but they're gonna get freezer burned. But if you have a vacuum pack, this is the way to go. Now, like I said, you're gonna keep going here until we decide we want the roast. This one I'm gonna have a little bigger roast. I'm gonna keep it somewhere in this area here so we get a nice big roast. Like I said, this roast is a little smaller. That's for me and my wife for dinner one night. This will be a nice roast where we want dinner and leftovers. So I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is just make myself a little mark right here. Then I know right around that area, stop cutting chops. Gonna get 2 more. here's where you can just, here's what I would decide. Do I want a super big roast or not as big a roast? I'm gonna have not as big a roast some, but if you got a bigger family, there you go. You can also make this thing into all roasts. You could have had like 6 really good sized roasts for your family for 20 bucks. There we go. And here's a really good sized roast for the end. Now, here is where the smaller knife comes in. You can do it with this knife too. And you could do these cuts with this knife too if you need to. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna cut a little bit of this fat off. Now, easy way to cut the fat off is just start your knife through sideways. Be careful. And once you start, pick it up and just start cutting. And you're going a little bit of an up angle when you're doing this. Then you're not going to take much meat. If you get a little meat, well, you get a little meat. But see, hardly got any meat there. And you just kind of do that for the whole thing. It's a lot easier. I like a little fat on mine for when it cooks down, so you get the flavor. And remember, fat doesn't make you fat. Look it up. Fat's a flavor, and fat actually makes you feel full. So you want some. You obviously don't want it all fat, but there we go there. And it's a little bigger chunk here. And just this corner off here. There we go. Okay. And here's where you decide how much you want to take off. Here we go. That's all I'm going to take off. Got a really nice roast right there. So now what we're going to do is like I said, I'm not going to delay this. This is about done. It served its purpose and got most of the. Here's where you can decide on your fat you want to take off. Like I said, I'm not editing this at all. You can tell. This is one live take. Take some of this off. Like that. That's all I'm going to do. Now this, you could save, like this piece would be good if you want to save and grind for ground pork. You want to render this down, you can render it down. That's a good one right there. And we're just going to go through this. Like I said, I want to leave some on, but some we don't take off. Everyone's a little different. Roll is sitting down here so patient. So you know what we're going to do? We are going to do that. Don't tell Mom. And what I usually do is all these fat pieces. What I do is I cut them up into small pieces and I keep them in a Ziploc bag. And my 2 dogs, Loin and Minnie, every time I feed them for the next week, they get 2-3 pieces in each. And they like that. It's like a special treat in their food for them. So it's not really going to waste. Like I said, some people keep it for trim. If you don't have enough, throw it in the freezer. And then when you have enough trim, then make yourself some ground pork. Or buy a roast, a beef roast, and throw it in with your beef roast to make some hamburger. Because that's an easy way to make hamburger too. We're going to start making this a little neater. Here's the 2 thin ones. Those I'm just going to keep. I want that little fat on that one. There's a little extra here. That one doesn't. I'm going to actually put these on top of each other for the view. That looks pretty good. Alright, now let's put these out. show you how much we actually got. We got one big roast, one small roast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 16 thick pork chops and 2 thin ones. So 18 pork chops, 2 roasts. So yeah, you can see for, what was it, 21 bucks I think I said? 20 something. It's super easy to do this. Everybody should do this. It's super easy. It's pork loin there, and like I said, if you have a dog, your dog's gonna love you. So that's it. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Questions down below. I do a couple other meats. If this interests you, let me know, and I might can do some others, you know, for you too. But if not, have a good day. Thanks for watching. All right, I looked at the time before I started. When I finished, I should finish the last one and got to here 23 minutes. So 23 minutes, I got everything cleaned, everything vacuum packed. So you're looking at what, 40 minutes, start to finish this whole project here. So that's it. So the only thing missing here is the small roast I got, because it's actually, see in the pot right here. It's actually gonna be dinner tonight. Gonna put in the pressure cooker with some carrots. But yes, you can see here, we have, where's the really thin ones? Here's the really thin ones. Let's put those separate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meals. 1 pork chop each, because they are thicker, remember, with some veggies on the side. And this will be a quick saute lunch or something for me. And a big roast here. And if you're hungrier, make 2 packs. You can still see how economical this was and how easy it was. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks. Bye.